Welcome to Tech Topics brought to you by Cybervenger. We help keep small businesses stay protected and compliant with cutting-edge cybersecurity and IT solutions.
Hello everyone and welcome. My name is Andy. I'm the managing consultant for Cybervenger. Today we're doing another deep dive into the 110 controls of the NIST 800-171 standard. The standard applies to anyone doing business with the Department of Defense or other federal government departments as well. Now, if you want to know more about that, we have videos that go into it in detail. But if you already know what that standard is and you're here to see the controls, then take a look down here and we'll go through today's control. This control is 3.8.1, and it says protect, physically control, and securely store system media containing CUI, both paper and digital. And that's really key. This is a whole new family of controls we're going into with the 3.8 series, and it's all about physical media. So we're talking photographs, printouts, recordings, anything you could think of that's, of a not necessarily IT nature, but that's anything that's got CUI on it. A little reminder what CUI is, Controlled Unclassified Information. It is basically anything given to you as the contractor by the federal government about the federal contract. That's CUI. Or anything you create in service of this contract. So I can create something at home, maybe a better battery cable for an Abrams tank. That happen to know what an Abrams tank needs, and I just design a better cable. Then I could sell that information as long as I don't tell anybody it's part of that Abrams tank that, I can't disclose that part. Let's say to make a new battery cable. I can create that. It's my information. I can sell it, and there's no compliance regulations involving that, right? But if instead I design that exact same battery cable, and it happens to fit an Abrams tank, and I sell it as a contract to the federal government, now it's called Controlled Unclassified Information. See how that works? Because the government's paying for it, it transforms the nature of that information, even though you had access to this information ahead of time. It's now special because it's part of a federal contract. That's the key thing that does it. I know it doesn't seem obvious because it's the same information, right? But the fact that it is controlled as part of what people are buying, the idea is, and I'm trying not to go off too much on a tangent what CUI is, but there's a lot of questions about that. The idea is that our adversaries, the United States adversaries, can get an idea what our military is doing based on its supply chain activity. So as soon as this thing becomes part of the supply chain, even if it's not a particularly interesting thing like a battery cable, I'm pretty darn sure Russia and China know how to make a battery cable. It's not exactly top secret stuff, but it would be covered by CUI. That knowing our supply chain activity gives our adversaries an advantage in predicting what we're trying to do, and that's not a good thing. That definitely lowers the security of the nation. So that's the whole purpose of the standard. So as soon as you make something for the contract, whether you could have made it on your own or not, it's now CUI. And it doesn't matter whether it's a digital, it doesn't whether it's the thing that's stored in your computer or it's a piece of paper. If you take a piece of paper and you scribble on the back of a napkin, and you're in a restaurant and you're talking to your buddies about how to do some new gasket design for fuel and tanks on an F-16, and you scribble on a napkin, that napkin is now CUI, and you chuck it out in the garbage at the restaurant. Technically, you just violated the contract. Even if you're only taking stuff in your head and scribbling out some ideas that are, in themselves, anything in particular. So it opens up an area of things that you may not think are federal contract information. In fact, the contract itself, even though it's public, is federal contract information. So you can't throw that away. You have to handle that. You have to protect the media, paper, film, microfiche, even sample parts. Another company I've run into, they do recycling, right? So you take a bunch of shells at an artillery range and you practice blowing stuff up, and leftover shells, well, that's all metal material that needs to be handled, safely disposed of. Well, that blown up material still kind of resembles the original thing enough that it's CUI. So pictures of that stuff would be CUI, and you have to protect that just as much as you would protect plans in a PDF document or anything like that. And that can be stored anyway. It can be stored on tapes. It can be stored in a book, on a video, on a VHS tape. It's not It doesn't matter what the media is. If you could see it and get information about it somehow, then it counts. So you had to protect that somehow. I mean, pictures on your phone, yeah, it had to be no-no. That falls under CUI, and it has to be properly protected, just as if it was a file, an AutoCAD drawing directly sent to you by the Department of Defense. It has to be treated the same way. So that's all that is for this control. This family control is going to go a little more detail about the way you physically protect those sort of things and what's there. So that's the basic one here. This has been 3.8.1, and hopefully you'll see you in the next control.
Thanks for watching. We hope this video has provided valuable information to you. Be sure to share this video with other small business owners to spread the word about the importance of cybersecurity. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. If you want more information about cybersecurity, visit us at www.cybervenger.com.